Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching and a very, very happy new year. I know it might seem a little bit strange saying happy new year at the very, very end of January, but as you might have seen, I decided to take a little bit of a break off of YouTube and sort of social media altogether towards the end of last year and kind of rolled into the beginning of this year. So I thought I would just come back with a little bit of a life update because there's a lot of change going on at the moment in like personal life and business. So yes, I thought I would just start with a little catch up with you all. So let's just start with basically the reason why I took a little bit of a break, because you know me, I like to be super honest about like why I'm doing what I'm doing and how I'm feeling and all that sort of stuff. So I sort of felt like towards the end of last year, I mean, I know I spoke about this in one of my vlogs, that I was becoming so overwhelmed with SLA and also running like my influencer business. Trying to do the two together was basically just burning me out. Like it was, I didn't even know the person I was looking at in the mirror. Like I just was like a shell of myself. I felt like I was just so stressed out all the time. And therefore I almost was that thing where I was like so busy that I then didn't want to do anything. You know that sort of mood that you get in because you're just so overwhelmed by everything that then you actually end up doing nothing. And I actually read something towards the end of last year and it was like, it's better to slow down than burn out. And that's kind of why I decided to just take a step back for a bit, because I thought that's actually so true. So yeah, I felt like I was basically creating content for like YouTube more because I felt like I had to rather than because I wanted to. And one of my biggest things throughout my whole career has always been like, you should do things, and I'm like, I preach it all the time about you should do things because you love them. So I felt like I was lying to myself and to you guys almost by putting out all this content and being super happy and smiley, and actually inside that was not how I was feeling. I guess you could say that I was suffering from just really bad imposter syndrome. Looking back on it now, I think that's exactly how I felt. And I think, you know, when I'm sharing my life with you in my vlogs and stuff, as I said in that vlog I did film last year, it kind of feels like I was like putting on this facade, because as I said, that was not how I was feeling. I was actually just feeling super anxious and super stressed and just really, to be honest, quite unhappy. No, so I reached that place and I decided to just take some time off, and it was just so needed. I went to, I actually went to Mexico for New Year's Eve with, well, a week over New Year's Eve with Joe, and we just chilled. We did absolutely nothing, like literally nothing, which was so lovely. I mean, obviously we didn't vlog it, and it was really weird, but I realised that that was the first holiday that I had not vlogged or shared at that time, like the time that we were there, for almost 8 years, which is just crazy. Because I mean, it will be 9 years this year since I've started like an influencer career kind of thing. I never know what to call it. I feel like when you say influencing, it sounds really silly. So I basically, yeah, I was like, that almost opened my eyes up to realising kind of like how unhealthy that was the first time where I'd actually just gone away for like myself and not shared it. I feel like when you are within this space where you do share your life with people, you feel like you have to. And obviously for the most part, I loved like vlogging our holidays and sharing everything with you guys, but I just think I kind of got so lost in that I also just wasn't even taking time for myself, which obviously over the years has clearly taken its toll, I would say. So that was amazing. And then I've just come back and I really just wanted to get my head right and just sort of focus on how I can make everything work together. So I spent a lot of January really focusing on SLA and like the goals and the intentions and the plans and the direction that I want to take SLA in 2022. So it was, you know, it's been lovely to kind of just have that time to just solely focus on that. But now I feel like I'm ready to kind of come back and start up with my other content as well. And I'm so sorry that it's been so long, but I just felt like I needed that moment to just reset and recharge. I mean, I'm sure we've all been there. And if you are feeling like that, even though it's the start of the year, you know, these feelings don't go away. So if you felt like you're still feeling like that now, just take the time out. Like, it really did help me, whether that's just as small things as saying no to going out on the weekend because you actually just want some time to sit and be with yourself and, you know, watch your favorite TV show, or just not even talk to people. Like, don't take it from someone who's literally just had like a month of really shutting themselves away in a sense to just kind of regroup. It's amazing. And I do feel like I've come back feeling just a bit more kind of clarity, I suppose, and a lot more inspired and just a lot happier, I think, than how I was last year. So that's good. That's the positive that has come from this. I feel like one of the things I was really thinking about over the last month and towards the end of last year was how the way that social media and like my job really affects like how I feel and like my confidence and my happiness, which is such a shame. But I feel like that is social media in a nutshell, isn't it? Like, it has this weird control over everyone's emotions. Now, whether that's comparing yourself to pictures you see online, or, you know, just feeling like you don't have what that person's got because all they show you is the good parts of life. You know, like, I don't have to explain it. We all know the downsides to social media. But when you're actually the person who's creating that content and you're battling against algorithms, which are just an absolute nightmare. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how hard I found the last like year and a half with the Instagram algorithm change. I mean, obviously if you're not into the whole algorithm things, or you haven't really fully seen a massive change, but from an influencer's point of view, I mean, I don't know what Instagram have done to the algorithm, but I mean, the amount of messages I get from you guys just being like, I never see your stuff anymore, I have to really search to see your posts, you know, or people just literally not seeing your content. And I think, you know, when that is your full-time job and you spend so much time and effort and you always, you know, you go above and beyond to create this content, for it to be almost controlled by an app as to how many people then see that content, that does actually mentally affect you, because you're giving it everything you can and you're putting out content that you love. But if an app is telling you, oh, actually, I'm only going to show 5% of your followers this, and you've got no control over that, that's actually a really hard thing to deal with. And I think that was also massively affecting me towards the end of last year, because, you know, I've spent almost 9 years building up this lovely, amazing community of people that follow me, and so it is just shit, to be fair, that an app like Instagram can come along and change the user experience and the algorithm so much that you feel like everything you've worked for, you know, has kind of amounted to less than maybe what you feel like it should be. Yeah, it's just one of those things that, again, just to be super honest with you, like, that is how I feel being within the social media space. So I've kind of, one of my 2022 goals is to really, I guess, try and understand that if you can't control something, you really can't get upset or annoyed about it. And so, for example, you know, like my content on Instagram, like, if it's not being, you know, if it's not reaching my entire like audience, that's not my fault. I can't control that. That's literally an app's algorithm that is controlling that. So I just, you know, have to kind of make my peace with it, I suppose. And that's something I'm really going to work on in 2022, is just, you know, I still obviously love creating content. It's one of my favorite things to do. Like, I love images, I love creating videos, I love putting outfits together. So I've just kind of got to try and bring it back and almost remember why I started. But if you're an influencer as well and you're watching this and you're feeling a little bit like that, or the algorithm is against you and all that sort of stuff, then you're not alone. Honestly, I feel it every day. It's hard, but it's kind of just trying to, I think I'm just trying to make a bit of a mind shift as to how I view it. So yeah, that's sort of one of my main goals, is to just try and not let things like social media affect me, which is so hard when it is your job. But I'm gonna give it a go. But on that note, if you do follow me on Instagram and you haven't been seeing any of my stuff, I have heard from a lot of people that if you actually unfollow me and then refollow me, it will then allow my content to show up in your feed, which is just bizarre. I mean, why they think someone who's been following me for years therefore doesn't want to see my stuff anymore is just beyond me. But hey, this could be a whole other separate video. I won't go into it too much, but I just wanted to say that if you feel like you're not seeing my stuff, do that. So anyway, so that was another thing that was just really causing, I think, as you can imagine, like, so I had all of that stress from like my influencer side of things, and like wondering like what was wrong with me, and like why was my content not, you know, performing as well, and like, was it me? Is it the way I look? Is it the way I'm taking my pictures? Am I not doing the right thing? Am I wearing the wrong thing? Do I look wrong? Like, honestly, it was like, this is what was going on daily in my head. And then on the other side of that, I had the stresses of running SLA, which was just obviously super stressful in itself, because trying to run a new business is so hard. So I put those two together and I was honestly just ready to explode. So hence the little break. That's basically why I decided to. So now some updates of what is happening in 2022 already. So in the middle of December, we had a message from our landlord who basically decided that he would like to sell the flat that we're living in, and had told us that we needed to be out by February the 14th. And so it was an interesting email to get while I was feeling unbelievably stressed about everything else, and also really annoying because Joe and I actually were really desperate to buy this year. I know I've spoken about this in some of my videos about how, you know, I've always rented, and like a lot of you do. It's quite funny, and I completely agree. A lot of you guys are like, why the hell do you still rent? Like, it's such a waste of money. And I agree. I mean, it's painful, but the thing is, and I always try and I always explain this to people whenever I talk about it, but when I started SLA, I basically self-funded it. So I put all of the money that would have been a deposit for a house into SLA, because that was my priority at the time, and that's what I wanted to spend that money on. And I know in the long run, like, it will pay off, and I'm so pleased I did that, and I'm proud that I did that, because it's a big step, you know, to invest in yourself. But obviously it's one of those things where you make that life decision. Do you buy a house? Do you invest in a business? I can't really do both. I'm not made of money. I would love to have done both, but so that's kind of why we're still renting. And obviously Joe's got his own business, you know, we're both self-employed people, we both own our own businesses, so that is literally the explanation as to why we still rent. And so it's just everyone's life is different, isn't it? And everyone spends money differently, and that's what we both decided to do with our money, is invest it into our businesses, and then, you know, look to buy. But we were sort of in that position to start to buy. As you guys may know, if you've bought a house or you're currently in the process of getting a mortgage, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a good at least 6 months to do that. So we were like, right, January time, we'll start the mortgage process, and hopefully by, you know, we would have needed to be out this flat by sort of like August, and we were like, by August, we'll have a new place and we'll move in. Great, that was the plan. Obviously the plan then went up in smokes when the landlord emailed. So the drama then came, because we then have to find a new house. And obviously, most places, a minimum rental contract is a year. We did try and ask for a 6-month break clause, but the rental market right now in London, not to sound too boring, but it's like so competitive. So it was sort of like, you can either have this house or not. Like, you got to take it as the landlord wants it. So we're now moving into a new place for a year, which means we now won't be buying till 2023, but life happens, you know, and you just gotta roll with it. There's nothing I can do. I just have to go with it, and it is what it is. But the exciting news is we're actually moving to somewhere a little bit bigger, which is great. We've got a garden for Nelly, which is really exciting. And yeah, I'm looking. At first, I wasn't happy about it, but now I've had time to process it. I'm seeing it as a bit of a fresh start. And just, you know, as I said, having a garden for Nelly would just be amazing. And we're only moving like 1 street over from where we live now, so our life will essentially stay the same, which is good, because I've just like little routines. Like, I love the coffee shop that we go to, and I love the fact that my like gym space is down the road, and just all, you know what it's like, those little things, those little creature comforts that I just didn't want to get rid of. So yeah, so that's the update. We're moving on, we start moving on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, how romantic. And so yeah, so we're currently in real, like, houses are, I mean, the house is a mess anyway normally, but it's really in a mess. But that's the other reason why I can't wait to move, because we're gonna have a room that will just be for like storage. And if you, as I've said this before, but every house needs that room. You know, the room that you just close the door and you pretend doesn't exist? We don't have that here, and that room is so important. Even if it's just a cupboard, it needs to exist in a house.
Oh my God!
How did you get in there?
You're messy.
So we've got one of those and I'm really excited. So yeah, so that is the main update done. We also, because we've now got a garden, are considering getting another little sausage for Nelly because she is just in desperate need of a friend. I've never known a dog love other dogs more than Nelly, and like sausages are just meant to be together. Like they just are so cute in pairs. So fingers crossed, in like 8 weeks-ish, we should have a new little puppy, which will be very exciting. So yeah, lots to keep me busy, bloody hell. I mean, I love how I'm talking about all the stress in my life and then I'm also deciding to get a new puppy. I mean, I must be mental, but in the long run, our life will actually be easier because we can leave Nelly at home without her losing her mind that we've gone out, or she can play with them and not annoy me 24/7 trying to play with me. I mean, I love her to pieces, but bloody hell, she can be annoying. So I'm excited. But yeah, anyways, so moral of the story is I'm back, I'm feeling better. I've missed you all, and I will be back to, as I say, normal fashion styling videos, vlogs, all that sort of stuff in Feb. So basically starting this week. And then yeah, so yeah, new house, which will be coming really soon as well. I'll be able to give you a little tour. I mean, it's not perfect, the house, but it's also not perfect. And I'm just, as I say, I'm excited for a fresh start, new chapter. Maybe it's what I need as well to just kind of, you know, really just keep working on this like new headspace and this new outlook on life and all that sort of stuff. Anyways, I've rambled on. I knew this was going to be a rambly video. I said to myself, try and keep this concise, Sarah, but Sarah and concise don't necessarily go together. So if you stayed with me till the end, thank you so much. As I said, I will see you all very soon in another video. I will not be leaving it over a month this time. And also just a little reminder as what I've said in this video, if you feel like you need to take a break, take one. Just do it. It's so worth it, and I feel like a new person. So I'm hoping that if you're feeling like this is your sign. If you're looking for a sign to take a break, this is it. Anyways, I'll see you all very soon. Bye guys.